Okay, I am with Gnostix. We're a social media monitoring and analytics tool, and today we're going to talk to you about how social media is changing business. And first, what I'd like to do is just paint a picture of what the technologically enabled and social world looks like. Let's start with some numbers. So 50% of the world's population is under 30. 96% of millennials have joined a social network. The number one activity on the internet is social media. It's quite a different landscape to what we've been used to in previous years. Radio took 38 years to reach 50 million viewers, TV only 13. For the internet, it took 4 years, and for Google Plus, guess, 88 days. Very powerful numbers. So Eric Qualman, who's a very good writer, he wrote a book called Socionomics. This is a quote from him, and I think it captures it very, very well. We don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. Everybody's there, our customers are there, companies are there. If we're in B2B, B2C, we need to be on social media. We often say that brands that shy away from new media will become extinct, and those that fail to quantify the impact of their social marketing initiatives will lose contact with their customers. We believe this to be the case, in the same way that 15 years ago, people balked at the thought of having their company presence on a website. It's absolutely necessary. So let's talk about how we can get there. This is also parallel with what the gentleman was saying previously. There are 3 strategy essentials for behavior online, communicating online. And we think that companies need to start with a knowledge of who they are. You need to understand who you are to be able to communicate. The drive for branding must come from the company's DNA. So to communicate, you need to know who you are, and then start at insight. Who are you speaking to? What's your audience? What are they saying? Who's your market? Then you can have your actions, the things you're going to do, what you're going to implement online, to be determined by your vision. What do you want to be? What do you want to express? Branding is culture. Now sit with that for a second. Branding is culture. So that also means, by definition, that branding is community. But what does that mean? If branding is community in new media, people want and expect conversations, not broadcast. The relationship isn't from the company to the customer anymore. It's a dialogue. It's a conversation. So how do we do that? Know why you're doing what you're doing. Why? And when you know why, your how and your what, your actions, must be consistent with it. So we're not sending mixed messages to our customers, to our partners. That forms the basis of all of your communication online. Once you have that in place, you can be confident that you can communicate in social media. So you express your brand through all of your communication. So I think this summarizes it nicely. The business of business is social, and I think we Greeks, more than anyone else, knows that. And social media is no different. In the exchange of goods or services for money, we're dealing with people. And social media is exactly the same. The company needs to show its human face. People don't want to talk with companies online. People want to talk with people. We're talking about information sharing and engaging, not broadcast, not information in one direction. We're creating a dialogue and a conversation with people. And relationships are changing from hierarchical, from top down, to horizontal. So that's the corporate culture shift that we talk about. So for you, the company, what does that mean? Practically speaking, once you know what you want to do, you know how and you know why, you need to set goals and objectives. Here we revisit traditional marketing, strategy, traditional marketing, tools and tactics. How do we get there? We need to measure, we need to analyze, and report on social media efforts. Discover insights. There's no point having all of this data at our fingertips if we're not analysing it and discovering insights from that information. And then with that, we're empowered to engage and create conversation. So businesses need the best tools to reach those targets. But do we do away with tradition and what we know altogether? Traditional marketing? No. We revisit tradition for innovation. We go back to traditional marketing to make sense of new social media sphere. Collecting data on its own is absolutely pointless. If there are no goals, if there are no objectives behind it, and no strategy in place, there is no point. So just collecting digital data is not going to help. Organisations that develop social media measurement strategies which align key success metrics, marketeers are familiar with the term KPI, with business objectives, will evolve much more quickly. So there needs to be a pragmatic strategy and a measurement plan. That's where you start your social media initiatives from. So just to give you a picture of what social media monitoring and analysis is, we always start with a listening campaign. We collect data, it's sorted, it's processed, we analyse it, and then we gain insight from that. A lot of this is mechanical. There are lots of tools that does this kind of thing, and then analysis and insight, that is mostly human. Someone needs to be there to make sense of it and come to a conclusion. There's no magic trick that's going to do it all for us. So here I just would like to define social marketing analytics. I'm asked this question a lot. What is it? We define it as the discipline that helps companies measure, assess, and explain the performance of social media initiatives in the context of specific business objectives. We keep going back to traditional marketing here. And I just want to show you this quickly because a lot of data we see from our customers, they're a bit confused about what's really important. So for different levels of the organisation, different people are interested in different metrics. This community manager is interested in engagement data, the clicks, the fans, the followers, the retweets. That means absolutely nothing to C-suite executives. We don't report on that stuff to C-suite executives. Business stakeholders are interested in social media analytics. Share of voice, how many people are talking about your company online compared with your competitors. Resonation, how's your message being resonated in the community? Word of mouth. Support response, if that's where your customer support comes from. How quickly does it take? Insights. And at the very top level, business metrics, again going back to key success metrics in parallel, we talk about revenue, reputation, and customer satisfaction. KPIs developed with specific objectives in mind are more likely to be useful and used. And it's very important when we're executing a plan and going through with it. This ideology has helped dozens of organisations take a methodical, pragmatic, and common sense approach to measuring social marketing initiatives.
Roberta, 1 more minute.
Okay. KPIs this has been developed by Forrester and Altimeter, have been identified. This is all available online if you research it. These are the kind of success metrics that you can get from particular tools to measure your impact online and demonstrate your progress towards a goal. Why it matters for your business: understanding your market, brand awareness, reputation and loyalty, customer advocacy. It's very important for content marketing, linking to marketing metrics, improving organic SEO, and committing to the market. So in actual numbers, I just want to give you some case studies here because people often ask, what's the ROI of social media? This guy had a family business. He grew from 4 million to 50 million using social media on a lot less than what he was doing with traditional marketing efforts. Dell, 3 million of computers sold on Twitter, Moonfruit, very impressive numbers. Genius.com, 24% of social media leads converted to sales opportunities. And how about Greece? One of the best examples in Greece is Lacta. They created a listening campaign, a Facebook application based on their insights. Users could add the name of a chocolate bar and send it to their loved ones. As a result, there was a wave of new and active users and a bit of buzz. People exchanged Lacta gifts and had conversation on Lacta's Facebook page. And within 1 month, Lacta had more than 135,000 users exchanging 300,000 chocolate bars. But they didn't stop there. They kept listening and feeding those needs and creating new ways to help customers express their love. Very creative. That resulted in a fan page having more fans than any other Facebook fan page in Greece. But more than that, engagement increased sales. How? In a declining market, Lacta's sales increased 8%. Real numbers. So if there's one thing I just want you to take with you today, it's that social media is not a campaign, but a presence of a friend among friends, and that the most successful brands see themselves as networks that connect like-minded people around shared interests and causes.
Okay.
I can stop there, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roberta.